Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, the morning show here for the Tennessee Valley. 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can get in on the show this morning. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed on this Thursday. And I say the, and I say it a bunch jokingly because if you missed it yesterday, and I don't know how you can do this, but apparently the trademark committee has said they will allow this to happen. Ohio State has received a trademark for the word the, or the, however they want to say it, for usage on clothing. So they have a trademark for the Ohio State
I hate it when they
University
do that,
on
man.
clothing.
You know when they do all these intros when these NFL now where they record these live intros,
Yes,
they're not
yes.
live, but they record them. It's not just a picture; it's somebody
Right,
on video.
right.
They always say the Ohio State University, like they're the greatest in the world. Damn guys! I mean, they won a national title in 2002 only because Willis McGahee got hurt, and then the official, I guess, was a cousin of somebody from Ohio State, and he threw a flag in the back of the end zone, so it wouldn't be over in overtime. And then, and they win one in 2014 over Alabama. But when you look at it, before then it was 1968, and they haven't done anything since. They call themselves Wide Receiver University because they've had a bunch of first rounders. But hell, Alabama's had more. I mean, and again, you're only as good as your last game. Khaki Pants ran the ball straight up their rear end the whole time last year. I mean, I just think Ryan Day is overrated. I don't think he's an elite coach.
But you can't put the on a T-shirt.
You can't
if you're
put the.
another
You can
school.
only do it at Ohio State. What else are they good at besides football anyway? Okay, am I forgetting something? I mean, they're not. They haven't won a basketball national championship since some dude named Bob Knight was on the team. Okay? They did make a national championship game under Thad Matta years ago in like 06 and lost to Florida. But what are they good at?
Well, they're good at getting a trademark because now they can put it on clothing, T-shirts, baseball caps, hats, all of the foregoing being promoted, distributed, and sold through channels customary to the field of sports and collegiate athletics. Ohio State University can be on clothing, and it is trademarked.
Alabama only beat them by 30 in 2020.
Doesn't matter. They're making money off their clothing.
Yeah.
The Ohio State University. 256-576-4977. They did get their second 5-star wide receiver.
They got a couple of them.
Hours.
Yeah, well, they've gotten 3 really good ones in the last several days. And again, they got Brandon Ennis, they got Carnell Tate, who Tennessee thought they had. Whoops, didn't get him because kids from Chicago grow up all the time wanting to go to Tennessee when they haven't had a first round wide receiver since the days of Philip Fulmer. But, I mean, it is what it is. And then they got the young man out of North Carolina yesterday who is some people think is a 4 or 5-star. It's debatable. He is a really good player. Ohio State, I guess Ryan Day got that $13 million he was asking his boosters for to manage his roster for NIL. It's not like that had been paying guys for years anyway.
There you go.
But I mean they've had NIL before NIL, I'm sure.
Maybe he did get his money. Hey, speaking of recruits and speaking of money, I don't know if you saw this or not. This comes out of the Pac-12.
Oh boy.
And it comes out of USC. Let me see here. Where did I find this? Yeah, here we go. USC quarterback commit Malachi Nelson.
Yeah.
The number 2 overall recruit in the class of 2022, only behind one Arch Manning, told ESPN's Pete Thamel, that he expects to agree to a nearly $1 million in endorsements by the time he enrolls at USC after the 2022 season. He shared with Thamel that he's already signed. Now, keep in mind, this kid is in high school.
High school. Yeah.
Gonna have to play his senior year of high school football.
Yeah.
Has also shared that he's already signed an NIL deal with a group out of Los Angeles that has more than 30 restaurants and clubs.
The guy can't even go into a club.
And he is just in high school.
He can't. I mean, don't you have to be 21 to go to the club, or is it 18?
Some is 19, right? Is there 19?
Is it?
I think so, 19. But I mean, he's only.
I don't go to a lot of clubs. Okay.
Downtown, you could be 18. They just put X's on your hand.
I don't see you going to too many clubs.
No, I don't go to a lot of clubs and give them a cover chalk. Give me a break.
Anyway, but Malachi Nelson has already agreed to he's already signed an NIL deal with a Los Angeles-based group that is
they got
a hospitality firm with more than 30 restaurants and clubs. That is where it's got to be.
That's where it's got to be. You got to wait till at least you're in classes at USC before you can sign all this stuff. The kid is freaking 17 years. He can't even go to the club, and they're wanting him to represent them. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You got to regulate.
His driver's license to learn how to drive, to be able to drive, probably just a little over a year ago, and now he's got an NIL deal to go to USC. You don't think this was worked out before he committed to?
I mean, now that he's got his driver's license, I guess he could Uber people to the club. But I mean, you're the Uber expert.
I don't even. Can you Uber at the age of 17?
I don't know. You can be an Uber driver if you have a license. Is there an age limit?
I don't know. Chad, do you know? Is there an age limit to be an Uber driver?
I don't know. I mean, you're the Uber expert, Scott. I barely Uber.
I use Uber, yes, but I didn't know. I mean, anyway, I just thought it was interesting that
you got to be 21 or older.
So be an Uber driver.
So he can get an NIL deal, but he can't be an Uber driver.
And at least 1 year of driving experience if you're under 23.
Oh, okay.
So he can get an NIL deal, but cannot be an Uber driver.
Oh my goodness. Craziness.
California, by the way, is the first state to allow high school students to profit from NIL deals.
Of course they are. Of course California's the first one. Good Lord. I could say some more stuff, but I'm not.
Oh, by the way, in case you want to know, just to tell you, now if this makes sense, I'm gonna tell you because I have looked at cars, so I understand car prices.
Oh, yeah.
Keep in mind the kid is still in high school. He has bought himself a 2022 Mercedes AMG GLE.
This Malachi Nelson guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
And bought his mother to tears when he presented her with a dream purse from Louis Vuitton.
And this dude may not even be worth 10 cents.
And he is in high school. Has not even played his senior year of high school football.
I mean, come on. That is not what this was about. 17-year-olds don't need to be driving around in 2022 Mercedes. I mean, you need a car that's great, but you need to at least establish yourself as a college athlete before you can get these big-time deals. This is stupidity because California is a bunch of morons. So are you surprised by any of this? You could nominate the state of California. I know Brandon's probably listening this morning for Moron of the Year every day of the week with the way that state is run. Every day these guys could be nominated for Moron of the Year. They are idiots.
All right. And just so you know, I mean, I assume the Louis Vuitton handbag, if it's a dream one, is going to be roughly close to about $2,000.
$2,000. That's how much it is for a Louis Vuitton.
I mean, you can get one probably for about $1,200. But I mean, I'm saying if it's a dream one, I am sure it's close to.
Well, I mean, what kind of car is his mom driving? Did he get his mom a car?
Maybe. Should we look and see?
I mean, this is crazy. You need to establish yourself as a college athlete before you can start driving around in a Mercedes at least. The state of California, what a bunch of dummies.
That's the kindest thing that you have said. By the way, the car roughly runs around $78,000.
Oh, I'm sure it's a Mercedes, for crying out loud.
$78,450.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get it fixed. It's going to cost you. I mean, that's like having to take out another mortgage if something breaks.
Well, I don't think he may not have to worry about it because he keeps on getting things handed to him before he's even earned it. All right, 7:13. That's how we get you started on a Thursday morning.
Speaking of high school, we're going to actually talk common sense here in a minute.
We're going to get you all fired up and cranked up this morning right out of the gates because, well, I'm not driving a $78,000. I mean, come on. I remember when my son was in senior in high school, there is no way.
If your son was like the greatest distance runner in the United States,
right,
or if he had been,
anything
the next Phelps in swimming, would you have let him get a Mercedes?
No, I would not. I mean, I would not have. Now, he would have wanted one. I know him. He would have wanted one. Wouldn't have let him get one. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to talk more realistic high school talk.
We are. We're going to talk to Luther Tiggs, Justin Johnson. Special venture going on. We're going to talk some summer basketball next on 97.7 The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck northbound on the Parkway between Governors and Clinton. That one had an overturned vehicle. One person going to the hospital there. Got one on the Arsenal at Neal Road and Patton Road. That's reported with an injury. Apparently a concrete truck involved in a wreck. 6700 block of Swancott. No report of injury there. And we got a working structure fire. 3900 block of Lakeview. That's off York Road in North Huntsville. Great summer start with overnight or day camp at Camp Chalakee on Lake Guntersville. Kayak, zip line, go on the giant swing or the blob. Chalakee.org, or you could call the Y for info. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddysburgerbar.com.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F1.
We interrupt this message to announce our $1,000 appreciation cash reward. Attention all active military, reservists, retirees, and all veterans, plus first responders, police, fire department, EMTs, and medical professionals. In appreciation for making Huntsville the great city it is, you'll receive a $1,000 exclusive reward in addition to any public offers on most all 22 Fords. So please come see us today.
Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner at Jordan and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talking Ball with Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And, yeah, those first 15 minutes were pretty good because must be nice to be a high school senior, soon-to-be senior, not even senior, soon-to-be senior, cruising around in a nice new vehicle. That is the USC recruit Malachi Nelson. Now, that's not every recruit. Not every recruit gets that opportunity and gets that limelight. And there are others that need the exposure, that need to be noticed. And if you're especially in this area, there could be something that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg to take advantage of something so easy.
Right, you know, and we've got two guys on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline going to talk about that this morning. They're also going to talk about some summer basketball. Both of them are prominent coaches in our community. They've been with us on numerous occasions. One I've known for since his days as an assistant at Austin High School and then a head coach at Buckhorn. I've helped him with his Into Hoops tournament. Certainly, he has an outstanding program over at Bob Jones High School, built Sparkman into a power, also did a great job starting the James Clemens program. He was a great player in his own right at Russellville High School and at UNA. And, of course, we're talking about Luther Tiggs. Coach Luther Tiggs is with us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and the CEO of this new venture, Playerlytics. He's also the head coach of the Columbia Eagles heading into his second season. Before that, he was an assistant for Coach Tiggs at Bob Jones. But he's an outstanding young coach in our community, and that's Justin Johnson. Both these gentlemen have been good enough to join us this morning. Coach Tiggs, first of all, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, guys. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Coach. Thank you. I know you have a busy morning. You guys are going to be practicing over at Bob Jones. We thank you for joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And Coach Justin Johnson. Coach, it's always great to speak with you. I know we've done it on a couple of occasions since you came to Huntsville and you started rebuilding this Columbia program, and now you're CEO of this great venture we're going to talk about today. Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. It's always my pleasure to talk to you guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And Coach Tiggs, we'll start with you. I mean, of course, you've mentored Justin. Tell us about this Playerlytics and kind of how this came to fruition, and then and I know we'll let Justin talk about it as well. I know you guys have kind of put your heads together to get this thing rolling to give kids, not just in basketball, but in high school athletics in our community, an opportunity to get exposure.
Well, you know, Justin approached me when he was an assistant here and came to me with a platform that he felt like would be something that would revolutionize high school sports. And to actually be honest with you, I was really just working on a practice plan and not necessarily paying much attention. And, you know, and then he mentioned something to me about, you know, having an opportunity to do something for women's sports.
Yes.
And I, you know, he kind of got my attention. I put my pencil down. Hey, man, I said, run that back. But it is really a great platform to give, you know, all of our high school student athletes an opportunity to get more marketing exposure, especially this day and time when, you know, the recruiting portal is really crushing a high school kid.
Yeah, that is.
So, yeah, Justin came to me with the idea of, you know, creating some software to be able to allow kids to be able to create their own player profile. they will go into a nationwide database where every college has access to it. So you literally can be, in Michigan or California. You can recruit right here in Alabama and never leave your office by filtering everything you want. But Justin is the brain behind it. He's the CEO, and I was just very fortunate for him to have an opportunity to bring me into the company to be able to offer some expertise and see how I can help him move along with it.
And
yeah, you mentioned that. How important is it? I mean, you mentioned the portal. You mentioned it. I mean, the high school kids right now, we talk about how great it is for the college kids to have the ability to go somewhere, to control their own destiny and stuff. But there's always a downside to it, and the downside is it's costing a lot of high school kids a chance to get recruited, a chance to land scholarships.
Absolutely, Scott. I mean, I totally agree with you. Over my years of coaching, we've had a lot of kids in this area, if not for the portal, will have an opportunity to play at a higher level. And most college coaches right now are recruiting the portal. I mean, why would they take a high school kid and try to develop that young man over a period of years when, their job security is on the line? So they literally can go into a portal and find a more experienced player, a guy who's a little bit more seasoned, and they know exactly what they're getting. And so, the flip side of that is these high school kids who are really working hard for their dreams getting the short end of the stick. And I just wish, that the NCAA would really take a hard look at that and really try to find a way to make sure it's a level playing field for all kids.
And Coach Johnson, talk about, you went to Coach Tiggs with this idea. How did you start coming up with it in your mind? And of course, as you know, you coach at Columbia High School. Sometimes some schools have a harder time getting exposure in some kids. How did you come up with this plan and Playerlytics and decide to design this company to try to help? And of course, both boys and girls athletes.
Yes, sir. That's really a twofold answer. The first answer to that question is I have daughters.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So I was like, okay, I need to do something for when they're in high school. They need to have a chance, because I was looking at different websites and different outlets, and I was like, it's nothing for girls, like literally nothing for girls. And if it is, it's just something that's thrown together. So I was like, okay, let me think for the future. Let me think of my girls. Secondly, I've always been in situations with my coaching jobs to where we didn't have the budget, and we didn't have. I'm not Coach Tiggs. I can't pick up my phone and call 100 different coaches. My network isn't like that. So I was like, okay, my job is supposed to be to help these kids. I'm supposed to help these kids try to get to college. I need to figure out a way to where coaches who start off like myself or coaches who don't have the network, we can get in contact with those colleges. So it actually came up. Coach David Craig at Texas A&M, that's my goddad.
Oh,
he
wow.
Was like,
okay.
He was like, you need to make me an app to where I don't have to leave my house. So this is when the pandemic first hit. So this is late 2020. So he was like, you need to make me an app so I don't have to leave my house and I can recruit these guys. So it initially started off as an app for Texas A&M. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to run with this thing. Because he was like, okay, I love it. Because he was like, you need to make an app to where I can know exactly what I'm getting before I get to the school. So I need to know what level this kid can play at. I need to know what these different traits. So I took it and I ran with it. So it started off with just football. Then I said, okay, I have daughters, so I'm going to do volleyball, softball. It expanded. We even do the band. We do cheerleading. We do every high school sport that there is.
Mm.
So we're just trying to help these kids out. I just want to get them. I want to get them into a big database because people don't really know Instagram and Twitter are really the two biggest recruiting platforms right now because they have the most kids. So what we're doing, we're just specifying our niche, and we're making it to where every college in the world really can have access to every kid in the world.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, there are services out there that do that, but they cost a ton of money. And there's a lot of kids that don't have the resources to go through and do all that. And the best part is right now you guys are offering this, and you guys want this exposure for the kids, and you're not making it to where they cannot be a part of this. It's for everybody to use.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right now we're offering it for free. 100% free. Because it's about the kids. At the end of the day, it's about the kids. And I have a personal standpoint that if we do what we're supposed to do and we handle business the way it's supposed to handle, the money's going to take care of itself. but I just want to help these kids. And Coach Tiggs wanted to help these kids, so we're offering it for free.
And Justin, for the listeners and the people, and of course, folks that will watch this interview later on and also listen to it and are listening now, tell them how to sign up, how this process works with Playerlytics so they can be a part of this database right now.
Okay, yes, sir. So right now, what you would do, you can sign up one or two ways. I encourage you to do the first way first. Go to Playerlytics, that's ThePlayerlytics.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our landing page, and it tells a little bit about our company. And you can click on a link that says sign up, or you can go to playerlytics.net and just sign up and register, and we'll shoot you an email and set up your account for you. So it's very simple. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes to do.
Yeah, and I know you're also trying to get more coaches involved. You have Luther involved with you, but I know you're trying to get high school coaches, not just around the state of Alabama, but this is almost like a national venture to get these guys involved to be helping these young people, both boys and girls.
Yes, sir. I really do think that if you're coaching, that's supposed to be your role to help these kids. And if your role is really to help these kids, and that's your goal to help these kids, I don't see why you wouldn't do everything to help these kids. I'm not trying to pressure anybody, but I know what I'm doing it for. I know what Coach Tiggs is doing it for. This literally takes 10 minutes out your day to load your kids on a database and get these kids an opportunity that they might not have had without sports. So we need to use sports as a vehicle to get these kids to their destination.
And going back to Coach Tiggs, Coach, speaking of helping kids, you certainly have done that throughout your career. You've had many reach the college level. I know you guys have guys like one of your greatest players at Sparkman that I enjoyed watching compete, who played on the college level, J.R. Strobridge, who's now a mentor and coach and trainer in our community. He's involved with Playerlytics. I know Gerard Powers is as well, but I know your program at Bob Jones is one that's you've had success there since you decided to move back onto the floor coaching after being the athletic director at Bob Jones High School. And recently, you've had a very strong summer so far. Your program winning the Big Red Summer Jam, the annual event over at Huntsville High. I saw your team also, over at Alabama team camp. Your team played very well. It's a team with a lot of new pieces, but one I know that you're excited about, and some of these players will hopefully be able to get some exposure through your program.
Absolutely. And, we've had a good summer, and I'm very pleased with it. One thing I don't do is I don't necessarily use summer to be able to win or lose games, so to speak, because I'm definitely not putting that on my resume.
Right.
It's not going to define me. Summer for me is more evaluation. I'm really trying to find out who can play and who can't play. I'm looking for leadership skills, guys who are going to say and do the right things, that's going to respect life and people, how they treat their teammates, how they treat their family. Do they value winning? So we're really looking hard for leadership skills right now and to find out who can and can't play. I just think, when you're running a program, and you're trying to find a way to be successful, I think there are 3 things you got to have a good team. You got to have talent, you got to have togetherness, and you got to have some toughness. You get 1 of the 3, you're going to fail. You get 2 of the 3, you're going to get frustrated as a coach. But if you can get all 3, I think you got a chance to win. So those are the daily standards that we talk about every single day. That's what we're trying to find. So we've got 1 play date left this summer on tomorrow at UAH. We've got 5 games there. I've split my team up into 2 teams. And so we're going to go compete. And at the end of the day, we're going to find out who can play and who can't play. And then we're going to allow these guys to have a little bit of a summer. I need one myself.
I was going to say, how much fun is it, though, to coach? How much fun is it to coach during the summer? I mean, you mentioned it's not about the wins. It's not about the losses.
It's about
There's not the
too.
pressure there either. But how much fun is it to see? Because this is where kids kind of develop. Yes, you have the season. Yes, it's about the wins and losses. But that's more – it's just a different thing. But this is where kids develop and kind of get better. How much fun is it to see these kids kind of grow during the summer?
Well, it's fun. It's one of those things where they don't deal with the 8-3. So basically I tell a lot of these guys that this is as close to many of you guys that ever get to the NBA, because all you're going to do is eat, sleep, and play basketball. And so for me, we like to be able to take the month of June, get 4 or 5 play dates. We only practice 2 days a week, and we play date one day. So we're only taking 3 of the 7 days out of the week from our young men. But, I enjoy really having an opportunity to continue to, push our relationships forward and network with my colleagues and, just kind of kick things around and share ideas. So for me, I get it. It's a twofold street. I have a chance to see who can play, but also have a chance to meet a lot of my friends I haven't seen throughout the year and just kind of kick around some ideas.
No question about that. And then, Coach Johnson, I know you've got some good young talent. We saw it at the Huntsville City Classic. We saw you guys compete last year for the Columbia Eagles, and then you guys peaked at the right time. You certainly, in the area tournament played exceptionally well. So I know you're excited about the future of Columbia basketball. Some of these young people on your team via the Playerlytics should be able to get some exposure as well. But talk about your young squad and the summer you've had so far, Coach.
Yes, sir. I think we're going to be pretty competitive. I think, like you said, last year we were terribly young. It made me a lot better coach because I had to coach. You would think that I was still coaching with Coach T because I talked to him every day. And it was a coaching job done by me and Coach T. He helped me out a whole lot last year. My guys should be pretty good, though. I'm getting 6 guys back that I didn't have last year. So that should help out a lot with a little experience and get us a little age out there on the court. But these guys are doing things the right way. They're doing exactly what I need them to do for the summer. They're coming in. They're buying into the program. And they're doing what it takes to become a program. And I just like to thank Coach Tiggs for everything he taught me. And just that short year that I was with him, man, he transformed everything that I knew about building the culture of the basketball team. And hopefully I can build something like he had, those powerhouses that he had back in the day.
Yeah, he certainly has built programs wherever he's been. They've been very consistent, play with toughness, physicality, always contenders as well with Bob Jones now, but what Coach has done throughout his career, and we've been very fortunate he's done it all in North Alabama as well to continue to enhance our basketball here. But, Justin, before we go here, I'd like you once again to tell these folks in the last few minutes for yourself, tell them about Playerlytics again and tell them how to sign up because that's the most important thing. We want the young people and the coaches in our community to get involved with this venture.
Yes, sir. Playerlytics, again, we are the only platform that offers equal recruiting for males and females. We offer accountability and we offer transparent recruiting, meaning the kids on the platform are evaluated by their high school coaches. I think that's very important because nobody knows these kids better than the coaches who are with them every day. And you can sign up. Like I said, I would go to theplayerlytics.com, go on, watch our commercial. Gerard Powers made a beautiful commercial for us.
He did.
And it tells a little bit about our app, and it says sign in. It says you can log in at the bottom so you can create an account. So you just create an account, you type your name, your email, and what sport you coach, and we'll set the rest up for you.
Yeah, that's a great point. And then, Coach Tiggs, finally from you, I also wanted to ask you about seeing, and it's a point you made about your network, and J.R. Strobridge is part of it. What he's done, coming back to our community, he had a very interesting college career. He went coast to coast, but played at some big-time places, played professional basketball. What's it like having someone like him be a part of this and also come back to mentor young people so much around your community and help you with develop these basketball players and these young folks?
Well, thank you, Drew. JR is a tremendous asset, not only to me, but and our players, but he trains kids who play for other schools in my facility. So, I'm watching kids get better every single day, and they may not necessarily play for Bob Jones, but you can't deny a kid an opportunity to get better if they're willing to get in the gym and work. And JR is one of the best trainers and mentors that I've seen in all my career. And it's very valuable to have him around. I'm an old man. I no longer play. They don't remember me, but he has a household name. They know he plays at a high level, and they trust and respect what he says. So he brings a lot of knowledge to the game. And I wish more former high school players would go back to their schools and be able to offer, something to the schools and share their wisdom and their experience from their playing days with these young kids who are coming up. They desperately need it. And so I'm so proud of JR being the right type of guy he is, being well respected, but more importantly, pouring back into these young people's lives.
Well, no question.
You got 5 games tomorrow, Coach. So you better get that. You better get that rest. I know it's not regular season basketball, but still, that's 5 games in one day.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to try to make it a good one, guys. Listen, we really appreciate all your time and what you do for high school sports in the state of Alabama. And we really enjoy listening to you every day. And we look forward to hearing from you in the future. And again, thanks so much for all you do.
Thank you, and thank you, Coach Johnson, for also joining us. And good luck to the Columbia Eagles. Good luck to the Bob Jones Patriots. Hopefully, this Playerlytics is going to be a revolutionary, platform for these young people via their coaches to get opportunities to play on the next level. @Playerlytics on Twitter has also launched as well, so give them a follow. Thank you to both of you for joining us this morning, and again, hope your teams finish this summer basketball session strong, but we appreciate you for joining us on Talking Ball this morning.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So good stuff there. 256-576-4977. The number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is open for you here in hour number 1. See, we started off with
97.7 The Zone.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Well, yeah, I'm just putting the out there because we have
you
we always say ESPN 97.7 The Zone. Can we put the on a T-shirt, or are we going to get sued?
That's what I was going to ask. Well, I mean, can we do it?
I would. Go ahead and sue us, you suck eyes. I can't stand you.
It only took 40 minutes for the suck eyes to come out. I was thinking it would have come out in the first 5 minutes. I mean, I've thrown a lot at you. I've thrown a high school NIL deal that this dude's driving around in a $75,000 Mercedes.
Only in the state of California, where the gas costs $9. I bet it's
there
gonna,
you go.
Oh my God, how much is the gas going to cost this kid? I bet he's going to sign an NIL deal with Shell or something now.
So he doesn't have to pay for his gas?
Probably not.
But he can't drive Uber, and he can't go into the clubs that he's representing.
Yeah. and if the restaurants serve alcohol, he can't drink that either.
All right, let's get a break in, because when we come back, hey, the NBA, we are actually going to talk NBA on the show coming up next. The NBA draft is tonight.
The draft.
Yep, and Jabari Smith has a chance to do something for the SEC that has not been done a lot. We'll explain when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Atlanta Braves are battling through the hot weather and big road trips as they look to push for a 4th straight division crown.
A high fly ball, a mile deep to left, way out of the ballpark. Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
This afternoon, we get your day started early with some afternoon baseball from Truist Park as the Braves face off with the San Francisco Giants. Braves Radio is on the air at 11:05 Eastern, 10:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
If you need a car, Mercury Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, Mercury Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit MercurySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville, call 256-713-0575.
And now a small business setback is assessed by a beloved family pediatrician.
Oh, hey, Tiger. Big scary tree branch give your work truck a boo-boo? Yeah. Wow. See this thing on my phone here? It's the Progressive mobile app. Just push that little button there and report your claim. Attaboy.
When owning a small business gets painful, Progressive Commercial is here to make it all better. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com.
What's this? Candy drawer? Who wants a lollipop?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions. Total claims not available in all states or situations.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Had a wreck northbound on the Parkway between Clinton and Governors. Overturned vehicle there. That one had some injury involved. Also heard of a possible accident northbound on the Parkway around Bob Wallace. So that whole stretch of North Parkway could be a problem for you. Neal Road and Patton Road on the Arsenal still may be trying to clear. That one reported with an injury. And we've got a working structure fire, 3900 block of Lakeview. That's off York Road, North Huntsville. Cajun Rice is back at Popeyes, and their 11-piece chicken family meal with 2 sides and 5 biscuits is now only $22.99. Popeyes, University and Jordan, 72 and Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Back Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, DeArmond with you. And coming up tonight, we do get the NBA draft. That's right. This show, we are actually talking NBA, not
And I got to
NBA.
correct something from yesterday. Reggie Mule King, 18th overall. Leon Douglas, 4th. So Alabama, the highest drafted Alabama player is still Antonio McDyess, who went 2nd in, I believe, the 1994 draft. Well,
Yeah.
actually 93 draft, I think.
So, tonight we do get the draft.
Yeah.
And a couple things. We've talked a lot about the SEC and the dominance of baseball and football.
Right.
Basketball, when it comes to draft picks, is not where the SEC, at least #1 overall draft picks, is not where the SEC shines so bright. It's the one spot, I guess you could say, that it does not. Since 1992, the SEC has only had 6 #1 draft picks called. The last one coming in 2020, Anthony Edwards from Georgia was taken #1. In 2016, Ben Simmons was taken #1 from LSU. That's worked out well.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons, my bad. Ben Simmons, yeah.
Yeah.
In 2015, Karl Anthony Towns was taken out of Kentucky.
Good player.
2012, Anthony Davis was taken out of Kentucky.
When he's out of the training room, he's good.
2010, John Wall was taken out of Kentucky. And in 1992, the big guy, one Shaquille O'Neal, was taken out of LSU.
We talked about Dennis Scott. We talked to Dennis Scott with him about him last week.
Those have been the only #1 overall draft picks coming out of the SEC in the NBA draft since 1992. I think even beyond that. Tonight, Jabari Smith has a chance to add to that list.
And make Auburn history.
And make Auburn history at the same time, becoming the first number 1 overall player taken in program history. Now, there is not a caveat. And I don't know, I've gone through the draft boards and the projections, and I don't see his name in the first round. It could happen, and that could be Walker Kessler, who is coming out, but I have not seen. I have now 19th overall to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
A lot of the latest projections as the process has gone on, while J.D. Davison of Alabama has fallen into the second round, Walker is most people believe he's going to be a top 25 pick.
And if that happens, it would be the first time that the Tigers will have 2 first-round draft picks in the same draft ever.
And to show you how far the years have gotten away from me, McDyess actually went in the 1995 draft, 94, 95. I mean, he only played 2 years, and he exploded in the NCAA tournament. That's basically the reason he left. A lot of people thought he was going to come back for a third year, but he exploded against the Penn Quakers and also Matt Maloney and Jerome Allen. And then a big country Bryant Reeves that him and Randy Rutherford ended up going to the Final Four. They put Alabama out. But Antonio was dominant. And until his knees gave him problems, he was dominant in the NBA. He got drafted by the Clippers, number 2 overall in the 95 draft, then got traded to the Denver Nuggets and had a great career there. But, again, he's the highest drafted Alabama player. And Auburn could make history tonight. First player ever from a school from the state of Alabama to go number 1 overall to Orlando. And what a boon that would be for Bruce Pearl. And as you said, Scott, making that point with Walker Kessler, the transfer from North Carolina.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Roy Williams didn't play him. But he was a great player, that really the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, rim protector, a guy that fits the NBA game and still really developing his game and should be a top 20 to 25 pick. We'll talk to Justin Hokanson of Auburn Live about this impact on Auburn basketball in the second hour. But, yeah, I mean, it could be a historic night for Auburn and then for Alabama in a way, too, because if you think about this, I was thinking that this would be the 4th straight draft Alabama could have someone selected. They've had 3 straight, drafts with a number 1 pick, at the guard spot.
First-round pick.
Yeah, first-round pick because they had Colin Sexton go 8th overall. Kyra Lewis ended up 2 years later. And again, I shouldn't say consecutive drafts, but Kyra Lewis 2 years later goes, 13th overall in the lottery to the New Orleans Pelicans. And then you have Josh Primo go into the lottery last year with the San Antonio Spurs. So you had 3 guards in 4 years go high. And then this would be 4 and 5 years with J.D. Davidson potentially going tonight. So it could be a significant night for Auburn, a record setter, and then significant for Alabama because they continue to turn out pros. Keon Ellis of Alabama could also potentially be drafted in the second round as well.
Auburn's had a player taken in each of the last 3 NBA drafts. Chuma Okeke went 16th to the Magic in 19. Isaac Okoro 5th by the Cavaliers. And then last year, T.J. Thor and Sharif Cooper taken in the second round. Now, before that, it was a big dry spell for Auburn. Prior to Okeke in 2019, the last Auburn player to hear his name called in the draft, you got to go all the way back to 2001 when Jamison Brewer heard his name in the 2001 draft. So that just tells you.
Thor and as you said, they had 2 second-round picks last year.
Yeah.
But they have Auburn and Alabama starting to turn out pros, which is why the programs are in the shape they're in, which is really good.
ESPN Seth Greenberg on Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max this morning, lauding one Jabari Smith.
Greenberg is with us, Jay. Look
Notorious B-E-R-G. My guy.
So
what's going on, guys?
What up, baby?
Hey, Will, that's a big-time shirt right there. You been hunting? Ball's ability to handle, ball's ability to
is split with the odds makers, saying Boncaro will go 1. And most basketball people who think maybe it'd be Jabari Smith Jr. or maybe Chet Holmgren. Where do you stand on who should go number one?
I think Jabari Smith's going to be the first pick of the Orlando Magic. They have to pick a guy that can impact the game immediately. Paulo Banchero, he reminds me of Chris Webber. I mean, his ability to pass the ball, his ability to handle the ball, his ability to make plays. But Jabari Smith is a shot maker. He is a scorer. He's not Kevin Durant, but he's got some traits that Kevin Durant has. He has the ability to stretch the floor 40% from the three. He can play in an isolation. He's a very, very good passer. And here's the key. He's an elite defender. And that's where I separate him and Banchero, because you look at the Orlando Magic, they've got to get a culture of toughness. They've got to get a culture, a winning culture. They need winning players that can impact the game on both ends of the floor. Jabari Smith is that guy, but he is an elite offensive player and a difference maker on the defensive end.
That's Seth Greenberg on why he would take Jabari Smith number one.
And I don't disagree with Coach. I mean, I know Chet Holmgren's 7 foot plus and has a unique skill set, but I think he still needs to develop his body. I do think that I wasn't as impressed with him defensively as you would have thought. I thought Walker Kessler was a better rim protector than Chet Holmgren. I think Jabari Smith, with his ability to shoot it 40+% at 6'10", put the ball on the floor, pass the basketball. And you just heard Coach talking. Coach Seth Greenberg's been on this show. His ability to defend at a high level and not be afraid to take the big shot. He made a huge impact on Auburn. You know, I would imagine that Oklahoma City will probably take Chet Holmgren second because centers and big guys are kind of like Sasquatches. They're hard to find. And then Paulo Banchero, very good offensive player. Such good mobility, ability to pass, shoot the three, finish at the rim. But like Coach said, he does have some issues defensively you need to work on. So the Houston Rockets will probably take him. And so we'll see. And then, I think those three guys really throughout the process, and at one point in time, all three of them were considered maybe potentially the first pick. But I think in the last couple of months, Jabari Smith has gained momentum, so I'm looking forward to that. And then really the draft will start at the fourth spot, because is Sacramento going to hold on to the fourth pick? Are they going to take Jaden Ivey of Purdue, or is there going to be a trade there? Because a lot of people love Jaden Ivey. He's probably considered the best guard in the draft, Scott, because, as you said, with these first three picks, the post players, it's post heavy, but Jaden Ivey is a guy that had a really good year at Purdue. His draft process has gone really well, and he reminds a lot of people a little bit of Ja Morant.
You mentioned Jaden Ivey. He is 20 years and 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Paulo Banchero is 19 years, 6 months. Chet Holmgren is 20 years, 1 month. And Jabari Smith is 19 years and 1 month. So Jabari Smith, one of the youngest guys in said NBA draft. Only there's one guy that is a international prospect, Usamni Dieng, who is from the NZ Breakers.
Right.
Is 19 years old. And Shadon Sharp from Kentucky, who, by the way, that's an interesting situation there. He enrolled at Kentucky.
Never played.
Worked out, practiced with Kentucky, and he said the other day, because he's been probed and asked this question a million times.
Right.
He made the choice not to play in any games for Kentucky this year.
He could have, yeah.
He could have played, but chose to sat out the games, practiced with Kentucky, worked out, got into shape, did all the other stuff, but chose not to play in any games for the Wildcats.
And that's been a bitter pill for some Kentucky fans and probably people around the program, that you could have at least had him from January on, and he could have played. He did not.
Chose to get ready for the NBA draft instead.
Yes, chose to get ready for the NBA draft. What good does that do you? He's playing against your guys, but he's not playing. So, again, on the floor for you. But, It is what it is.
Yep.
It's in the part of the process I don't like, because Austin Wiley a few years ago for Auburn, he actually reclassified and played in January.
Yep.
So.
All right, that's going to be hour one. That's in the books. Hour two going to kick off. Back to the football talk we go. We got a lot of good conversations. Phone lines are open to you as well, 256-576-4977. It's Talking Ball on the 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Atlanta Braves are battling through the hot weather and big road trips as they look to push for a fourth straight division crown.
A high fly ball, a mile deep to left, way out of the ballpark. Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
This afternoon, we get your day started early with some afternoon baseball from Truist Park as the Braves face off with the San Francisco Giants. Braves Radio is on the air at 11:05 Eastern, 10:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We should be about ready to clear the problems on the Parkway. Had a wreck with an overturned vehicle northbound between Governors and Clinton. Another one reported back about Bob Wallace. There were some injuries involved in all that. Neal Road and Patton Road on the Arsenal reported as an injury type. Still got firefighters 3900 block of Lakeview on a structure fire. No hose, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s, only dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s as we head into the overnight. Not a bad end of the work week across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. A mostly sunny sky, temperatures hanging out in the low and mid 90s. Not going to be as hot on Friday compared to what we've seen other days this week. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday, temperatures hanging out in the mid and upper 90s. Our next best opportunity for rain begins to move into the Tennessee Valley Sunday and then as we head into Monday of next week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Jabari Smith Jr., 6'10" forward out of Auburn, still the favorite to be taken number one at tonight's NBA draft. He was at -275 as of Wednesday. Duke's Paolo Banchero at +280 and Chet Holmgren of Gonzaga +500. Travelers Championship underway today. Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler co-favorites +1,000 ahead of Justin Thomas at +1,200 and Patrick Kentley at +1,400. The Avalanche one win away from the Cup as they beat the Lightning in overtime Wednesday 3-2 to take a 3-1 lead in the Stanley Cup Finals. Colorado -133 on the money line at home in Game 5 Friday. The Lightning +125, the over-under at 6.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 97.7ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Just like that, hour 2 is live on the
7-7 The Zone.
On the 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We are...
Shut up, Ohio State.
Well,
You guys are a bunch
they
of
can't
arrogant
shut
tick
up.
turds.
They got it copyrighted. They don't have to shut up now. They can use the or however you want to say it on any one of their shirts, and it's copyrighted.
Yeah,
so
it
so
goes
my
across the
question
screen.
is,
Noah Rogers commits. We talked about that this morning. I mean, here we go. Yada, yada, yada.
So if another university puts on there, what would happen if, because Michigan and Ohio State are rivals, what would happen if Michigan put on a T-shirt, the Michigan Wolverines?
They wouldn't do that. Ohio State's the only one that does this stuff.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you're Michigan, would you not do it now just to ruffle the feathers of Ohio State to put on the Michigan
I
Wolverines?
wouldn't be surprised if Khaki Pants did that, come to the press conference and be like, we're trying to be, the Michigan Wolverines are going for 2 in a row over the Sucks. But, I mean, he wouldn't say that, but, I mean,
I mean, what if he just wore a shirt? He didn't have to say anything. He could just put on there
the Michigan
Wolverines.
Yeah.
Would Ohio State come after you if you did that?
And sue you?
And sue you because it
Who
is
knows?
copyrighted now. They got a copyright on it.
Well, now I wish we had done that. Back in 2020, we had our game day T-shirt giveaways. We should have put the University of Alabama drills the Ohio State University. 52-24.
Oh,
it was a good scrimmage.
That's what you get when you try to cover a wide receiver or
Oh, with Lurch? Yeah, that was great. Watching Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner, run by Lurch after Lurch tried to, hurt Najee Harris at the bottom of the pile and twist his knee because he couldn't tackle him anyway. Yeah, that was awesome. Let's see if the Sucks can have a better defense this year because they certainly didn't last year. They were awful.
The Sucks.
Yeah.
All right, Shane Sean's with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
The Shane Sean, what's up?
How in the hell can you copyright the word "the" and expect somebody not use that? I don't even see how that's legal. If Michigan wanted to put the Michigan Wolverine, looks like that Ohio State could copyright the Ohio State University, but they can't copyright the.
And they have copyrighted the. I am looking actually at the patent and the official patent and trademark certificate that was sent to Ohio State, and all it is THE. They have copyrighted that for T-shirt, apparel, hats, and all that other stuff.
Did they put Joe Biden's identical twin as the copyright guy?
I don't know.
Something as stupid as this?
I do not know. I just know that it went through. Yeah, I'm like, okay, wow.
Yeah, Sling Blade's cousin.
I mean, I can't wrap my head around the word "the" being copyrighted and nobody can use it.
Yeah, I don't.
Freaking worry. What are they going to do? Are they going to sue the dictionary for using the word "the"?
It just says, it says it's a class 25. It says clothing, namely T-shirts, baseball caps, and hats, all of the foregoing being promoted, distributed, and sold through channels customary to the field of sports and college athletics. So I imagine it's just going to be on apparel and everything, like hats and T-shirts and stuff that they have the copyrighted.
So they're going to put "the" on a hat. How stupid is that?
That just proves that Joe Biden has a twin out there somewhere that knows the copyright.
I don't know.
Man, Jesus. That makes no sense. I cannot wrap this world is going to hell in a handbasket, dude.
Well, what Joe needs to do is fix the gas prices. Whatever.
That is facts, man. I I used to could fill my truck up for in between $50 and $60. Now it takes between 95 and 110, depending on how many miles I have left before I fill it up.
There you go. I mean,
ridiculous. It is doubled.
Everything's doubled, bro. Everything's expensive.
So apparently, according to an attorney, they don't own the word.
They don't own the word.
They don't own the word. This
So
is
you can
something
put it
that
on a
apparently
hat.
they felt was
Probably
important
get
enough,
sued,
though, to
Shane
spend the
Sean. I
time and
guess. I don't know.
energy to register and ultimately be able to police the marketplace from anybody that might be using the word as branded clothing.
So anybody could say anything, but I mean,
yeah,
or
basically,
somebody could
yeah.
they could put that on a sign. Michigan could put that on a sign on College game day and put the Michigan Wolverines, and they couldn't do nothing about it because it's not clothing.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, it only applies to clothing. Now, this is where it gets fun. Apparel brand Marc Jacobs has also applied for a trademark for the word. So it's possible, according to this attorney, that Ohio State was taking a defensive position by applying for the trademark of the first. If Marc Jacobs were to have gotten the trademark, they would have had the authority to ask Ohio State to stop using it on their apparel. So Ohio State tried to beat Marc Jacobs to the race and did to use the word "the" on apparel.
Well, who the hell is Marc Jacobs?
I don't know. I don't know that either. Chad, do you know Marc Jacobs? I don't know Marc Jacobs.
Who knows? I don't know him.
I don't know.
Hey, no. I think I did hear something about this. This is a guy that has a bunch of different trademarks that he uses for shirts and stuff, and sells them. I think it's coming back to me now. Yeah.
Okay.
Fashion designer? I have no idea.
He has a bunch of different trademarks. If it's the same guy that I heard about.
Okay, so here's a little bit more on the Ohio. Here's what's going to happen. Now, getting the trademark does not guarantee Ohio State will be the only university to use the word "the" or "the" on apparel. This is where, though, I don't think a lot of schools will do it. For the first 5 years that a trademark is registered, another party can counter with a petition for cancellation on the grounds that this does not function as a trademark. So this is just going to get interesting if another school decides to use the word "the" or "the."
Oh, you know.
I feel like I'm in English class, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, or remember Schoolhouse Rock, all those commercials?
As much as Michigan hates them, they're going to try to do something just to spoil their shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, Michigan responded yesterday, or no, Michigan responded back in 2019 when this all started with of. I have no idea why. But they put out a tweet, and all they put was of. I don't know. So.
Okay.
Oh, no. I heard about that too. Yes, that was they couldn't because Ohio State was trying to trademark the word "the." They was going to try to trademark the word "of" because they are the University of.
Oh, good Lord.
I remember that as well.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. There's a
So
little
you
bit
can't
more.
put
into
U
the
of A on
trademark.
anything or what? I mean, come on, man.
So there's a little. So if you want it now, you just got to send a petition in if you want to use the word "the" for the first 5 years of the copyright. So there you go.
Well, Wolverine Dan, go ahead and send your petition in to stop it.
This is in it. This is fun. I mean, we're talking about the word "the" and "the" because Ohio State is making us. So.
That's just because it's college football in June.
Yeah.
Right now.
It is.
There's nothing else to talk about.
It is. Well,
but I still like it. It's awesome.
We can talk about the guy that in U.S. from the USC commit, which we did in the first hour, the high school kid that is driving around in a $75,000 Mercedes because he's got NIL deals as he heads to his senior year in high school.
Yeah, but that's not saying much, man. I'm a car salesman. That's what I do for a living. $75,000 car ain't much of nothing. I just sold a $165,000 AMG last week.
Oh, wow.
Not to a 17-year-old
But
high
not
school
to Malachi Nelson or his mother, right?
Well, no.
Yeah.
No, this guy was from California though.
He was? Oh, Lord.
He was. It was a used 2021 with 27,000 mile AMG.
And it's still $160-something $1,000?
$165,000.
Good Lord.
Good night.
And it's used?
It better drive itself.
Yeah.
Well, it basically did.
Okay.
The car was bad, but I don't. That's $30 more grand than I paid for my house in 2017. I'm not paying for that I'm not paying $75,000 for a vehicle. I'm sorry.
Did you have
He's
to
not either. He's
so
getting
how did you
it
get
donated
to this dude in California? Where was this car located?
It was here. He flew over here, picked it up, and drove it back.
Oh, Lord. How much of gas did that cost him, Joe?
Well, I'm sure he filled up here and then he stopped and filled up as many times east as he could before he went west.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
But yeah, man, it's getting crazy. Everything's getting crazy. It's a Ram TRX, man. It's used. That only had like 9,000 miles on it. It was $100,000.
Good Lord.
That sold. Yeah, I mean, these people are actually paid for this.
Well, I have heard lately that used cars are going for as much or more sometimes as new cars.
No, they're going for way more than new cars because nobody can get new cars.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why.
Because of that.
Wow.
And we all know that. I'll just stop saying it.
Why?
No,
Why stop? You haven't stopped ever before. So why
Yeah,
stop
because Joe's
now?
a moron.
There we go.
Moron of the decade.
I would like to say you're a lovely president, but that dude's not a president. I'm not even going to go there.
We've gotten way off track here.
Maybe they need to copyright something about Joe Biden is not a president.
Not the president. There you go. You got to put the in there.
Yeah. Do that.
Okay.
We'll get rich on shirts. All right. See y'all guys.
Thanks for the phone call. All right, we've ventured off, and I don't even know where we were at in the show. Anyway, 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Speaking of California and the Pac, and let's just stay out west because George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner,
right,
did say
you said
something.
it, I didn't. I probably couldn't have called. You said Kliavkoff?
I said Kliavkoff.
Okay.
Kliavkoff,
yeah.
I'm hoping I said it right, but he's not listening.
Well, that's a lot harder to say than Larry Scott, who got fired.
So, but he actually did say something that did kind of make sense, and it is kind of catching on a little bit amongst those powers to be in college football. And he said that the NCAA, he said the NCAA should not be running college football. He says that we have we have to be realistic about the fact that football is a unique animal among the rest of the college sports, and there are conferences that should be more aligned and should be more in control of the future of high-level college football. He says he's had conversations with several FBS commissioners, and he says he's surprised by the unanimous support about taking football rulemaking and football rule enforcements out of the NCAA and investigating it in an organization that is run by the 10 FBS conferences, not the NCAA. So basically take the NCAA away from college football and let the 10 conferences run college football themselves.
It's already partially happening with the college football playoff, so I mean, a lot of that makes sense. I mean, a lot of people think that because of the money in college football there, that'll eventually be the impetus to seceding from the NCAA. That'll be really interesting. It'll be interesting if that happens, how it affects the recruiting process in college football, because you won't have NCAA rules enforcing it. So
right.
It's going to be a very interesting time for the NCAA, which has always been kind of Yeah, you know, I always say they're always reactive, not proactive, and see how they handle it. And we know Mark Emmert, within a year's time, is going to retire, and they're going to have to hire someone else to figure out if it's Groundhog Day or not.
You could be the NCAA commissioner. You really could be. You know that.
Well,
I mean, Josh Pate does this thing on 24/7 Sports.
Great friend of the show.
Yeah, if he was running college football, these are the things that he would change. So if you were in Mark Emmert's shoes, if you were the commissioner of the NCAA, what's the first thing you would change?
If I were in the NCAA,
Yeah, if you were replacing Mark Emmert and you were in charge of the NCAA, what's the first thing that you change?
Well, first of all, I would do something to regulate NIL, and people wouldn't be driving around $78,000 freaking vehicles in high school. That's what I do. I mean, that's ridiculous and stupid. I mean, you couldn't sign it until you at least practiced a little bit with the and became a. And to be honest with you, I would want the rules stating that you couldn't do anything until you played. Started playing your freshman year in a real game, for crying out loud.
Right.
To earn this stuff.
Right. All right, Brandon's with us as well this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning.
Morning. Did we nominate Tony Vitello for Moron of the Year?
Well, I mean, you did.
Okay. I couldn't remember if
We've nominated a lot of people today. We've nominated the state of California.
I named one for the decade, our idiot president.
Yeah. You've nominated him and the state of California and Ohio State all in one show.
Yeah.
Well, the state of California takes it coming and going. I mean, they were really on the doorstep of losing a Super Bowl.
Yeah, because of a mask
you have to be
that we don't even know if it works.
In an outdoor stadium, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Open air, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just in that car that guy was talking about, he sold Shane Sean.
Yeah.
That was really somebody driving that car to one of Jimbo's players. He just didn't want to tell him that.
Oh, wow. So this was an NIL deal.
Yeah.
From coast to coast.
Oh, now we're laying it on.
Yeah, they're the
That's
number
why they
3
had enough money
defense in
to drive
America.
it back where it was going.
Yeah. I just hope our boy Jake Crane is right. He made his SEC predictions yesterday, and he's got dirt neck losing 4. I hope so.
Doesn't matter. His buyout's so large, it doesn't matter. They're
we
stuck
talked
with
about
him
that
for
yesterday.
an eternity.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're gonna come up with he done something. He touched somebody, or
I said that
they get ready to
yesterday.
have-
I agree, Brand. They're going to try to railroad him out of town if within 3 years if he's not winning a championship.
Yeah, he better hope he's got 24-hour-a-day security with a video camera on him, because when they get rid of him, it's going to be Dan Snyder. You sexually harass somebody, you touch somebody, you threaten somebody. When they want to get rid of you, they'll get rid of you. This goes to show they don't want to get rid of Dan Snyder, because if they wanted to get rid of him, he'd have done been gone by now. I mean, they banned, what's his name, Big Cat, from coming to NFL games.
Yeah.
They can ban him for running his mouth, but not Dan Snyder for what he did. Then Roger Goodell wants to play dumb in front of Congress and act like they don't know what he's talking about. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. Was it Dan Snyder's avoiding Congress or whatever? Saying
Yeah,
he's out
getting
of the
subpoenaed.
country.
He's out of the country.
He's out of the country.
Goodell saying he doesn't police him.
Yeah.
Well, totally understand. And Stephon Green, Rome High School.
Oh, yeah, he committed to Clemson. Yeah, he did, yeah.
I have to say I was disappointed in that. I was kind of hoping he was going to come our way. Guy's a wrecking ball. He's really good on the field. He's got a nasty attitude. I think this year he's going to be somewhat unblockable. I look for his stock to rise this year as he plays. He was just he's got a really nasty attitude on the field, to the point where he pulled basically wrecked the spring game to the point where you couldn't even really throw passes.
Wow.
And he was he pulled a Tim from the spring game for Alabama a few years ago.
Tim Williams.
Yeah, Tim Williams. Yeah, he pulled one of his where you basically had to take him out of the game to make things.
Or Will
work.
last year.
Yeah, Will last year too. Same thing. And I haven't seen his Mercedes. I asked him, was he going to loan him the helicopter? And he just looked at me and smiled, because I guess Georgia's still one of the states where you can't get high school NIL yet.
Well, they have some sense then. I mean, come on here. I mean, and the young man didn't go to Georgia. I wonder why. I mean, but Clemson's always recruited Georgia well.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. There were some players on a team that went to a Georgia event, and they were asked never to come back.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he was part of that group, but I think it was part of another group, and I think that's kind of maybe strained that relationship a little bit.
Yeah.
Not totally sure on that, but I know for a fact they were asked they would not be invited to come back to any future events after some of the incidents that happened. So just going to prove that some of these guys are not choir boys.
Yeah.
And rest in peace to the Goose.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tony Siragusa,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Great defensive tackle.
Dude, he was a great sideline reporter.
He was. Tom's right. He was kind of a pioneer.
He would stand there and call a defense and call a play almost Romo-esque before it would happen.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe that dude's gone at, 55?
Yeah, way too young, no doubt.
Yes. Character. Big-time character. Yes.
Appreciate
Did he ever
that.
cut down on the weight? Did he ever cut down on the weight in his size, or was he
I don't
still
think
that
so.
big? When
I think he was.
I think he was still the same.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, I think he was still the same. Don't know what the cause was, but appreciate it, Brandon.
So he didn't-
Go ahead, man. Finish.
So he didn't. I didn't know if he cut down and did the Jeff Saturday. And got
No,
like
I don't
2
think he did that.
No,
I
not
don't think
yet.
he-
Not from what I've seen. No.
Right.
Yep.
Appreciate
All right,
it,
Brandon.
Brandon.
Thanks for the
Thank
call.
you.
Just so that you know, there are 9 states across the country that allow high school kids to have NIL deals.
Right.
Alaska, California, Colorado, Kansas, Louisiana, Nebraska, New Jersey, New York, and Utah. Those are your high school states that you can cash in big on high school NIL deals. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, we're going to talk NBA draft. The Auburn Tigers have a chance to make a little history tonight. We'll break it down next.
Justin Hokanson going to.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We got a lot of folks in last-minute dash mode now. Be careful as you make the rest of that trip in. Put some extra room in there so you got somewhere to go if something goes wrong. Don't forget you got firefighters in the 3900 block of Lakeview off York Road, North Huntsville, had a working structure fire. Need a tent or an addition to your permanent staff? Snelling specializes in admin, accounting, and medical placement. Snelling, how Huntsville's best companies hire talent. 256-382-4000. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Your Atlanta Braves are battling through the hot weather and big road trips as they look to push for a 4th straight division crown.
A high fly ball, a mile deep to left, way out of the ballpark. Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
This afternoon, we get your day started early with some afternoon baseball from Truist Park as the Braves face off with the San Francisco Giants. Braves radio's on the air at 11:05 Eastern, 10:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Flow Trampoline Park is Huntsville's newest destination for family fun. There's an inflatable park for the little ones, air track basketball courts for the sports people, and a variety of other aerial sports attractions. Plus, plenty of couches and TVs for the spectators. Book your next party or outing at Flow Trampoline Park. Refuel at our caf, or tap into your inner child with an arcade and 3 console gaming rooms. Flow is at South Parkway and Drake, behind the Cracker Barrel. Learn more at flowhuntsville.com. That's flowhuntsville.com. Get your jump on at Flow Trampoline Park.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
Mercury Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, Mercury Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
This is the time of year where we all expect inconsistent calls from umps.
You guys stink.
That's okay, we're used to it here. We'll just sit back and call it like it is. Your home of the World Series. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back to Talkin' Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. We're here just until 9 a.m. We got 30 more minutes of the show. And coming up tonight, it is the NBA Draft. The NBA Draft, not like Major League Baseball and the NFL Draft. It is just one night, all 2 rounds in one night. So It is in and out in a hurry in the Big Apple. Tonight, Jabari Smith has a chance to become the 7th SEC player all time taken as a number 1 pick if the Orlando Magic decide to take him number 1.
And we think that's a very high probability, and our next guest wrote an outstanding piece on that yesterday. He's been with us since he re-entered the media business, and that is with Auburn Live on 3, part of On 3 Sports. Justin Hokanson, who I'm envious of. He also, Scott, got a chance to spend about a week in Omaha, Nebraska, several days, covering Butch Thompson's Auburn Tigers as they win their first game in Omaha since 1997. And make a good run there. Had an outstanding bounce-back season for that staff. But Justin Hokanson is going to talk about some Auburn hoops with us, a little bit of his Omaha experience, and maybe even a little football with us for a few minutes here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Justin, welcome back. You're with Drew and Scott in Huntsville, Alabama. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. And what does this mean? I mean, you covered this team. You covered Jabari Smith on a game in, game out basis, pardon me. This is going to be huge for our state, huge for Auburn basketball to have the number 1 overall pick, it looks like, tonight in the draft.
Yeah, it'll be huge. Now, what's interesting is, like, late last night, you saw some of the Las Vegas odds all of a sudden with some interesting odds on Paolo Banchero.
Interesting.
I'm curious to know where that came from and what's going on there. But, yeah, late last night and early this morning, you saw a couple of Vegas odds pop up that listed Banchero as just as much of a favorite to go 1 as Jabari. So it has some people talking, and so we'll kind of see what happens today, and it could be a wild day. But regardless, I mean, if Jabari goes 1 or 2, or gosh, even if for some crazy reason he goes 3, he's still the highest drafted player in the history of Auburn basketball, and it'll be a massive deal. Obviously, it'd be a bigger deal if he went 1. You think about that Cam Newton effect where the first player that walks across the stage is number 1, Jabari Smith, Auburn. That's a big deal. I mean, that's a marketing heyday for Auburn University and for high school kids that are watching. That's a big deal. So that's what they want is that number 1 pick. You can hang it on the wall as a banner, that kind of thing. So it's a huge deal either way, though. I mean, because whether it goes 1, 2, or 3, I mean, he's destined to be an all-star. He just is. And so in the NBA that Auburn's had since Charles Barkley. I mean, that's just a huge, huge deal. So big day for Auburn. And Walker Kessler, too. If Walker goes first round, you're talking about 2 guys going in the first round for Auburn, and that's never happened. So just a big day for Auburn basketball. Bruce Pearl will be there. Big day for Auburn basketball in their future for sure.
Yeah, and if anybody can market it to the nth degree, it is one Bruce Pearl who can market it. And Bruce Pearl, ever since he has arrived on campus, I mean, before he arrived, us previewing the NBA draft and using a number 1 pick or an Auburn draftee going in the first round, that was unheard of.
Oh, completely unheard of. I mean, I remember back when, Marquise Daniels was, hey, maybe he could get drafted. He ends up being an undrafted free agent with the Mavericks after that 2003 season. That was a big deal. Just the thought that Marquise Daniels might get drafted in the second round, that was a huge deal. And the fact that he was, immediately went to the Mavericks, and I mean, that was like a guy getting drafted for Auburn basketball back then. Just getting a free agent deal was like a huge deal. And now, I mean, that's just, that's to be expected. That's the worst case scenario. So, to sit here and talk about potentially 4 first-round draft picks for Auburn basketball in the last handful of years with Chuma and Isaac Okoro. And then you got, of course, Sharif and JT, who went second round last year. It's sort of surreal. It's something you're probably not going to appreciate. I don't think Auburn fans are going to appreciate this until years down the road, maybe when Bruce retires, where you look back and you're like, man, I think when you're in the middle of it, you don't realize how far Auburn basketball has come. But it's really remarkable.
Well, and then you can argue that the success of Walker Kessler and, of course, Jabari Smith being the unicorn, being the best player in the SEC, I know the coaching change had a lot to do with it, but Auburn bringing in Traore, who could continue this, and Broom in the transfer portal, both of those guys' successes probably led to those 2 young men being Auburn Tigers.
No question. Those 2 guys were really, really important pickups for Auburn. I don't think people probably understand how big those were for what Auburn needed. And you can trace getting those 2 guys. I mean, you can trace a lot of that to the success that Jabari and Walker just had, especially somebody like Janai Broom. Who's so similar to Walker, who's so similar. So, the success of those 2 guys, I think, had a major part in you turning around and being able to land 2 big-time prospects at those positions.
Well, we've talked about Jabari Smith, and obviously he's the headliner. You brought him up briefly. Walker Kessler's name keeps kind of moving up a little bit as well along the board. Jabari Smith getting all the attention, but we can't forget about Walker Kessler.
Oh, no doubt. And I think we talked to Bruce the other day, and I think the really interesting thing for Walker going forward is what does his mid-range game look like? Does he develop his three-point shot a little bit more? Does he develop a mid-range game a little bit more? And I think he will. The more shots he puts up, I think that will be a threat with him. And Bruce had a really good comparison to Robin Lopez, those Lopez brothers. But those guys, Brooklyn, they became somebody who, if you left them open at 3, they could spot up and hit it. And I could see Walker being that guy that stretches you out. And if you just don't guard him, he'll shoot a 3 and make 30%, And so, I would think Walker's a guy that's going to have a pretty long career if he stays healthy, just because of his athletic ability and his height, his wingspan. He's going to be rare. And I would think from a defensive standpoint, he'll be somebody that teams will want to have on their roster for a long time, as long as he stays healthy and stays active. He's just a guy you can put in. He's just a problem. I mean, 7 feet, 7'4" wingspan, with some unique abilities to gauge shot blocking, a great teammate, a great guy. I think he's destined to have a nice career in the NBA. Whether that elevates to all-star status or any of that, I don't know, because I don't know what kind of offensive game Walker's going to have in the NBA. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. But defensively and rebounding, I mean, he's just going to be I would think, a valuable player for a lot of years.
And then Justin, we're talking to Justin Hokanson, Auburn Live on 3sports.com. We've gotten to the point now with Bruce Pearl. The first 2 years were rough, but now that he's gotten it rolling, Auburn is really more along the lines of reloading, not having just a good year and then having to rebuild it over a couple of seasons and then be good again. But this Auburn program has become a program. It's become consistent.
Yeah, no question. I think this year's I think last year to this upcoming season is going to be a little bit different, even than some of the things he's gone through. I mean, if you think back to the year they shocked everybody, won the SEC, and then flamed out in the NCAA tournament, a lot of those guys came back. Bryce, Jared Harper, a lot of those guys came back with maturity that next year. Last year was interesting because you rebuilt with those transfers, and then now you're kind of doing that again, but you're doing it off of a bunch of success, whereas last year's team was coming off a team that, obviously couldn't go to the tournament if they wanted to. So I think every year's a little bit different. But, yeah, I mean, you're talking about reloading again with a transfer and 3 freshmen coming in who are really talented. And so with a couple of vets coming back. And so if there's anybody, the one thing I've learned from watching Bruce Pearl over the years is if there's anybody built for the current landscape of college basketball, when we're talking about transfer portal, when we're talking about high school kids that could be one and done or NIL, if there's anybody that's built for it, it's Bruce Pearl. But his ability to mesh players together, to find guys that fit, to create a culture, to make sure that he brings somebody in that's also going to fit with the guys already on the team. He just does an outstanding job of that and creating kind of a brotherhood of those guys and knowing what kind of person he needs for his program. And so whether it's transfers or high school kids, there's really no worry at all in terms of him being able to rebuild it every year. I mean, I think he's really built for kind of the age in college basketball that we're in right now.
And this Auburn team getting ready to make a trip, and Bruce Pearl taking advantage of a lot of this momentum, taking this team overseas this year, doing a lot of different things with a new group of guys.
It's Israel, I believe, right, Justin?
Yeah, Israel. Yeah, going to Israel here pretty soon. That'll be a great trip. It's a great team building thing that they have. I guess you get to go on these foreign trips every handful of years, and so what a great opportunity for all these kids, for Bruce, for his staff to go over there and do this, and for a lot of these new guys to mesh with each other. I mean, it's a super cool opportunity to get to play some good basketball. And from talking to Bruce, I mean, he wants it to be. He hopes that going to a place like Israel opens the door for other teams to do it, and maybe even other areas, and not just go to necessarily a France or Spain or some of the normal places. But his Jewish background, he's hoping that going to a place like Israel opens the door for some more unique opportunities for some teams down the road. So, what a cool opportunity for that team.
Well, another cool opportunity, you got a chance to go to Omaha. It's on my bucket list. Butch Thompson's second time in 3 seasons, really. He gets Auburn to the pinnacle. They, much like Bruce Pearl's team, Bruce Pearl's basketball team bounced back from an off year, which is really an anomaly with what Bruce has done the last several years following his opening 2 at Auburn. But Butch Thompson, much the same, rebuilt Auburn baseball, made them a national factor, really a top 20 program. But talk about the year that this Auburn team had, really picked to finish in the bottom third of the SEC, and yet they end up in Omaha.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. I mean, I thought at the beginning of this football season, man, a great that team would have been 500 in the league. I think that they had the horses to get past that. I'm like, they should probably that would be outstanding if they somehow finished 15 in the league. And of course, they did better than that. But similar to what great programs, similar to every other great team, it's about culture. And we've got some culture going at Auburn based. We've got a bunch of guys that just absolutely would run through the wall for him. And so when sometimes you're lacking in talent, you've got guys that are going to be consistent, play good defense, play hard. I mean, they had probably 20 come back, some variety. So it's just he's got the program in a great spot because I think of his consistency as a coach, his staff, have somebody that solid as a head coach, your program is going to be pretty solid. I think the one thing for Auburn baseball to probably take a few next steps is add on from an offensive standpoint. If you go back and look at the World Series a few years ago when they made it, offense kind of a struggle in Omaha as well. I think they scored 3 runs in both the Mississippi. Then you come back to this, they scored almost 1 against Arkansas. And so I think they got to figure out a way to bigger bats in there that consistently, no matter if you're in Auburn or on the road or in Omaha or wherever you are, you've got the potential for some hits and power, the way Arkansas could just, light you up for 11 runs or whatever it is. So I think that's probably the one thing they're missing. Can they find a couple of more bats like a Sonny DeShare or a couple more guys that have legitimate power that you got to be worried about? Their offense just kind of flamed out. But as a culture, it couldn't be any better at Auburn baseball and what they're doing and what Butch is doing. I mean, it's really amazing how they've done, and we'll be curious to see how long Tim Hudson hangs around, how long Gabe Gross hangs around, and those guys stay together. But there's no doubt that he's got a very consistent program going.
What's your feeling there with Tim Hudson and Gabe Gross? How long do you get a sense that they will be around the program?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere right now. I mean, but they love Auburn. They live in Auburn. They're both kind of entrenched in the town and the city and the community.
Yeah, they're being alums. I think is significant and being big parts of Auburn baseball history.
Yeah, I think it would just be. I mean, for somebody like those guys, it's just kind of when do they sort of want to move on and find that other mission in their life? They're not like those normal coaches that are like looking for the next opportunity. Like my goal is to be a head coach.
Yeah, I wouldn't think either one of them would be. They made a lot of money in the major leagues too.
Yeah, they're good. Tim Hudson's good. Gabe Gross is good. So, I think it's just depending on how long. I would think as long as Butch is there for a while, they'll be there. But I could see a point where they might decide to let another coach come in there and have an opportunity, and for them to kind of maybe move on to something else in their life. I could see that happening, but probably not in the next few years. I mean, I think there's some unfinished business. Hey, we've made it to Omaha. I mean, Tim Hudson wasn't on the team that made it to Omaha the first time, so he's just now been that once, that one time this year. So I think they're going to hang on and say, hey, there's some unfinished business. Like, let's make a run of this for the next handful of years and try to get there and win a national title. And then if it doesn't work out, I could see a few years from now maybe some changes being made, but on their end, Butch isn't going to release them. I mean, it would just be them deciding to move on. So I think they'll be there for a while. And what a great staff! And those guys are all really tight. Carl Nunemaker too. That just goes into the culture. I mean, those guys are that team. And it's amazing that it's so much like basketball when you go from Tony Barbie to Bruce Pearl, the way you went from Galloway to Butch Thompson. I mean, the cultures could not be any different. The coaches could not be any different. And it's amazing what's happened from one coach to the next coach with those two programs.
And quickly, Justin, before we wrap it up, I know we've talked about it in football. Auburn needed to add some pieces in the transfer portal. They certainly did at wide receiver. And then in the last few days, while you were in Omaha, they add a piece on the edge. We knew they wanted to add some depth as far as on edge defensively, and they do so from Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I think that was an important pickup, just from a body standpoint, more than anything. I mean, Bragg, he's a good-looking player. He's built for the SEC, but more than anything, they needed a body. I mean, outside of Derek Hall and Iko Leota, you had Dylan Brooks, who you're relying on to step up. It looks like they've moved Joko Willis potentially to edge from a linebacker position, or at least giving him some work there. We'll see how long he stays there. They just needed another body. I mean, if Derek Hall or Iko Leota were to get injured, she'd be in a lot of trouble at that position. So it was a big pickup for, hey, here's a guy who's got the body to play in the SEC, and it's a massive position of need. So I think that was huge. And then, of course, somebody like Coy Moore from LSU will be fascinating to watch at receiver. Worsham as well from Miami, but I've got my eyes a little bit more on Coy Moore and what can he do at Auburn. How quickly can he pick things up? Can he be a factor? Because they need more game-breaking ability at that receiver position. They need more guys that can create chunk plays. And so I think that's their hope with those two guys, is they've got enough speed to maybe get in there and do something. But that's a massive need as well, as that game-breaking ability at receiver. So I think they kind of met needs. Transfer portal's tough. If you don't get them right after the season, if you get into the spring at that point you're really looking for an able body, or maybe you luck up and get a kid that, you know, some unforeseen circumstances happen. But, you know, once it gets into the spring and after the spring, it's tough trying to find an impact transfer. I mean, it would be surprising if a guy like that comes into a program like Auburn and tears it up. At that point, I think you're just looking for able bodies to help with depth.
No doubt. Marcus Bragg coming in from Western Kentucky, Coy Moore from LSU. Justin Hokanson, great job, great knowledge coming off the Omaha trip, and also he'll be covering the NBA draft tonight. Could be historic for Auburn. Let everybody know how to follow you guys tonight.
Yeah, auburnlive.com. We got it rolling. Take advantage right now. It's like you can get on there for a year. You get on $1 for a year. So we brought Keith Niebuhr over.
Yep.
Stud. From a recruiting standpoint, Keith Niebuhr and Jeffrey Lee and Cole Pinkston do a great job there. And so, yeah, you got the draft, and then football recruiting this month in the end of July is going to be massive. So make sure you're at auburnlive.com. We appreciate everybody that's a part of the community.
Appreciate it, Justin. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Let's get that final break in when we come back here. Tomorrow's headlines today to close it out.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
There goes Ozzie, 2-2 on the way, hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Good morning. Beginning to wind it down quickly now. Haven't found anything new accident-wise, so we're going to wrap up in good shape there. Got a lot of folks, though, scrambling, trying to get in on time. If you're in that last-minute group, please be extra careful. From routine care to heart failure, Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes, Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back to
The Zone. It just said The Zone.
It did. The Zone. Since this show has been unusual to say the least, and we have just talked about things that have just been the most unusual show of the week, the headlines only have to be unusual themselves. And a pair of them are. You ready for this one? When you think of Sports Illustrated, you think of a great sports magazine. and the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, right? When you think of Sports Illustrated, that's what comes to mind.
Yep.
How about the Sports Illustrated Resort? Does that come to mind when you think of Sports Illustrated?
Resort? No.
Well, better get ready because Sports Illustrated wants to build a $410 million mega resort on the coast.
To do what?
For people to come and enjoy it. One of the first Sports Illustrated resorts in the U.S. could be coming to South Mississippi with hotels, a family entertainment center, and a crystal lagoon. The $410 million resort would be built on what originally was to be the site of the Gulf Coast Galleria Shopping Center.
It's going to be north of
Biloxi. Yes, it's going to be north of Biloxi.
I don't know.
4 miles of the coastline. The announcement that Sports Illustrated will lend its name to premium lifestyle resorts and entertainment destinations. It actually came on Super Bowl weekend in February. The first resort under construction in the Dominican Republic is scheduled to open this year, and another is proposed for Orlando in 2024.
Interesting.
So Sports Illustrated.
Resorts, huh?
Resorts.
I don't know.
So I told you, so the PGA Tour is in constant battle with the Live Tour, right?
Of course, they're arguing, they're going back and forth with it.
The PGA Tour is putting its foot down and saying, you know what, we're the PGA Tour. We don't need any of all that stuff that Live is offering. We're the PGA Tour. We stand alone, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently not so, because the PGA Tour has revised how they're doing things. So much so that they had a meeting yesterday with 100 players with Jay Monahan, the commissioner, and he presented proposed changes. And one of those is the PGA Tour will offer 3 global events that will pay out just as much as the Live Tour is paying out for their certain prime events. There will be no cuts in these, exactly like the Live Tour. Limited fields of up to 60 players determined by previous season's FedEx Cup standings. They will be played in 3 events, one in Europe, one in Asia, and one in the Middle East are the preferred destinations, just like the Live Tour.
Here we go.
So the PGA Tour is feeling the heat from you can say no one's watching it on YouTube, no one's doing all this other stuff.
But they're still taking great players. So.
But they're taking players, and so the PGA Tour is combating this by having 3 tours that'll mimic the Live Golf's lucrative model, as well as increase purses in 8 marquee events in a revamped 2023 schedule.
Going to be interesting. Just like tonight, we'll finally have our finalists for the College World Series, our matchup. Oklahoma, one of them, they win 5-1 and they eliminate Dirt Neck and Texas A&M, yesterday. And so Jim Schlossnagle and the Aggies, they fall a little short. There are no more national seeds remaining. Oklahoma trying to make history and win it in softball and baseball. They will be in the finals starting Saturday. Ole Miss drops their first game of the postseason, Scott, yesterday, 3-2. You heard that on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. They nearly rally in the bottom of the ninth, but they fall short. 3-2, Arkansas wins. So that game will be today on 97.7 The Zone. It will be starting at 3 p.m. Central due to inclement weather threats. They're going to start that game early. So we thank Eagle Insulation, Masonry and Insulation for sponsoring that. We will have the College World Series, Arkansas and Ole Miss in that rematch this afternoon. And before that, we're going to have a matinee, so to speak, with the Braves. The Braves wrapping up that series. You mentioned it on Zone Center. The Braves came back for the first time all year, and the Giants lose a game for the first time all year as the Braves come back with 3 in the ninth to win it 4-3. And now the Braves trying to take 3 out of 4 from the Giants, and you'll hear that this afternoon on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. I guess an abbreviated Czar and Chad Guathney here on the Tom Abraham Show.
An abbreviated the Thursday edition of shows.
Yeah, the drive tonight from 6 to 7 from Baumhauer's potentially.
We just cannot make shirts apparently with the drive on it.
The Ohio State Suckeyes. I don't like them.
What? Add them to the list.
Yeah, add them to the list.
We really need to come up with the Drewnism dictionary.
Right.
So, because we're getting so many terms that people are going to get confused on what is which. Dirt necks, Suckeyes, Western Union.
There you go.
Venmo.
Well, my own vernacular, but we appreciate Justin Hogan and we appreciate Luther Tiggs, Justin Johnson, and our callers.
Hey, we're out tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday. See you guys.
Best of tomorrow.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City